fast tortoise in the show, drinking coffee, wishing you all well, because life is swell. Super fast tortoise. Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and trends have been the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with Super Fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Woo woo! It's a Tuesday morning. Yeah.
I thought it was Sunday.
Yeah.
My day's been all screwed up since I woke up.
You woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Wrong side of the bed, the wrong day.
Apparently, time traveling. Geez, Sunday. What are you skipping Thanksgiving?
No. Well, now I'm trying to travel back, so you know, a little longer that way. I'd be more prepared to eat all that food.
more prepared to eat all that food.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heck
That's
yeah.
right. All right. Well, we got a TCG dude here today and a lone wolf. How you guys doing?
You
Good
first,
morning.
Mr. Ow!
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing good, fellas. It is definitely cold up in these parts. It was like 5 degrees yesterday.
Ooh.
And, you know, I've dealt with single-digit weather just fine.
Mm.
But for some reason, it was humid all week last week. So it was a wet cold. Like, you'd get the snow, and then there'd be ice on top of that, and there'd be ice on top of the ice. And you're just like, bro.
Yeah, talk about that. I can understand that and completely relate being in a high humidity state where when it gets cold in the negatives, holy cow, you get that snow, you get the ice, and you get the ice on top of ice, everything. I understand that. Yeah. Which Hillbilly loves the ice, you know. He likes to build ice men out of the ice and make little snow forts.
I can
I
do
thought he
without
liked
the.
I thought he
Go ahead,
liked to go ice skating.
I can do without the dang ice. Snow's all right, but ice, no.
Yeah, when it comes to snow forts, my childlike SpongeBob brain can't help but think of when Squidward went all cray and made a huge tower, and he's like, "Sport Squidward is all but impenetrable."
Nice. We got a Crystal Miller in chat. Hello. We love TMT.
Good.
So do we. We love TMNT as well.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm a lifelong fan of the show. Lifelong fan of the franchise. So yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Got Sarah Foster. Hello, Sarah Foster. Hello. Hi. Well, good morning. So today I was coming up with the topic of the show, and I thought of something that I haven't really got onto today, and that a lot of people haven't really discussed yet, but I'm pretty sure the discussion's out there, is how Wizards of the Coast is changing the feeling of Commander. And I'm doing very well today. Thank you, sir. How about you, Hillbilly? How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Boy, do I got some things to say today.
Oh, yeah, mashed potatoes. Whoa. Jeez. Can't read that comment. No. But anyways, everybody. Whew. Today is a good day. Let's get into what's going on today. So, I heard through the grapevine that Hillbilly's been playing some Commander behind my back. In fact, today he's going to be playing Commander on his show, I believe, on his channel, which I'm going to try to be there, but I can't make any promises tonight because the wife is off work. Because I'm hanging out with the wife most of the time, but I'm not trying to break my schedule either. Right. But yeah. But anyways, so we're trying to do stuff. There's Commander games going on. We've had plenty of Commander games, and there's people who are evolving around the games. We've played some fun Bracket 3 games. We've had games with a Bracket 3 deck that was more CEDH level, but still fit in the Bracket 3 restrictions. You know, the description of Bracket 3. So it's been insane to see what people have been coming up with, and I think there's been a lot of change. But before we get more into that, we do got to get into an important topic of the day, and that is
Card of the Day.
the card of the day, which was actually suggested by TCGdudes himself. Yeah. Thraben Charm, or Thraben Charm, however you want to say it. Because a generic and white, it's an instant. Choose one. Thraben Charm deals damage equal to twice the number of creatures you control to target creature, or destroy target enchantment, or exile any number of target players' graveyards. Pretty solid.
Yeah, super strong card. So when I looked it up on the old Scryfall, turns out that this is a Modern Horizons 3 print. So like you can see that by the symbol there, obviously. But it was like first time printed there. Even though the Thraben is like a tribe of humans from Innistrad, if I'm not mistaken. So I had assumed that this was previously in an Innistrad block. But yeah, no, it's a MH3 card all the way. Additionally, this last weekend was the regional championship in Las Vegas. And this card, Thraben Charm, was featured in quite a few Boros energy decks. And it happened to be a really good answer to stuff like Amulet Titan. Yeah, and even Esper Gorios, by being able to get rid of the graveyard and ruining the reanimation plan. Like, just a banger of a card all around. And I personally love Charms. I think that Charms are one of the not underrated, but like underprinted. They're very far and few between when Wizards print Charms into sets, and that may be for good reason, but I think they deserve some more attention.
And I think multiple option cards are very popular in Magic, and people love them. People love to watch them, you know? So, not watch them. They love to play them. And this card is no exception. This card is a banger in Commander. Like, you don't have to worry about the first ability on here at all. The second two abilities are just pretty solid. Just options: destroy target enchantment and exile any number of target players' graveyards. You can exile everybody but your own.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty solid. Good choice. Good choice of a card. I like it. Yeah. Well, with that, we're gonna get to the picture of the day. Picture of the day is this is that time of year that it is easy to forget. Not everyone is home for the holidays. Even though I probably spelled holidays wrong. I don't think I did, but hey. So please keep in mind the people who are out being service, or who are in the service, who have to stay away, people who have to work on the holidays. We got to think about those people. It's nice to think about those people and show appreciation for the people who do the things for us that we wouldn't do ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. But then, my friends, we got the question of the day. Question today was brought to us by Lone Wolf in Discord. Says his question today is, what are you thankful for this Thanksgiving? And I know I saw TCG's answer in Discord. And
You'll just have to join up in the Discord, link in the description if you want to see that action.
That's right. All right.
Well, what I'm thankful for is just, since I had, everybody that knows me knows I had health issues. Like back in 2015, almost died because I had 2 ruptured brain aneurysms. So what I'm thankful for is being alive.
Mhm.
I almost died that day.
That's a good thing to be thankful for. I mean, I know the story behind it all. You know, a lot of people were involved that day, and a main person who was involved sacrificed a lot of his own personal security to make sure you were alive.
Oh, yeah.
And that sounds weird to the people who don't know, but for the people who know, one guy ended up losing his job because he went out of the way to save Hillbilly.
Well, he didn't. Let me correct you on that. He did not lose his job. They did get on to him, but he told them, "I don't care. I'm saving this man's life."
Right.
And
You made it sound like
later he did quit, but they did not fire him for doing it.
all right.
They could have, but they didn't.
It's really unfortunate when employers don't value human life the way that you would think that they should.
Well, you know, there's so many rules, laws, and regulations out there. They basically make people afraid to do the right thing or do the heroic thing because, oh my Lord, God forbid someone sues you for saving their life.
Right.
You know.
Maybe not as an extreme of an example, but I saw a reel recently where a lady who worked as a receptionist in an office pretty much had like a court date to do, and her boss or job wouldn't let her have the day off to appear at court. So then she got in trouble and got a warrant for failure to appear. And it's just like, okay, you know, that's a hard decision there.
Oh yeah, well, on a more of an extreme example, I even know this because I know someone who is a police officer, and they explain that if someone breaks into your house and you shoot them, if they live to tell about it, they can take you to court and win.
Yeah, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Liar, Liar.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Oh man.
Right. So there's a lot of things that you know it's the right thing to do, but the way laws and stuff are written, they make it hard to want to do the right thing because you don't know the repercussions or the consequences of doing so.
And if that person died, you committed murder.
Right.
Well, you'll go to prison or jail for that. Well, they broke into your place.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous stuff that can happen. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you know,
we derailed really hard. What's the topic of today?
The topic of the day is Wizards of the Coast changing the filling of Commander. All right, so I got a little monologue here.
As is tradition.
We did story off big time.
Right. Is Wizards of the Coast using the bracket system to push the power level of Commander? Is the bracket system defining a more competitive Magic format for Commander? Are we seeing a rise in the faster Commander games? Are Rule Zero discussions affected by this bracket system that they've now implemented? Are we benefiting from it? Is it helping the game or just transforming the game for players? Let's get into that. Small little dialogue there, but there's some good questions there because like before they redefine the bracket system, here's the bracket system. You got player 3, and one thing that I want to point out is at the bottom here. It says under bracket 3 to play at least 6 turns before anyone wins or loses. 6 turns.
Wow.
Right? That wasn't on the original bracket system. The original bracket system right here. This didn't give that kind of definition here on the original bracket system. You know, it just said decks are thoughtfully designed, full of synergetic, strong cards. Games could end out of nowhere with the powerful spells and late game combos. And key word in that little phrase is late game combos. And here, dang Unity, good discussions whether or not it is intended. Yes, Wizards is pushing the power creep up and the game's faster. Also, with the cards coming out, it's pushing us faster and faster. That's right. Yeah. But so So what I want to get at is like turn 6. Like that is super fast. What's the point of having 99 cards in your deck if turn 6 is your win rate, you know? And just saying you're winning or removing a player by turn 6. That is ridiculous.
No.
You know, that's something to think about. Like most games for bracket 3 in my day, and I think it's funny because TCGdude keeps trying to get me to do like a bracket tournament type thing going on. But from experience, we've played games where the definition of bracket 3, I'm playing turn 1 land, turn 2 land, slow ring or something like that. Turn 3 ramp, draw cards. Turn 4 play creature or something. Turn 5 get something more bigger out. Turn 6, you know, turn 6 is like the turning curve of the game where you start doing things. But then we played a deck the other day that was so optimized. It used to be a bracket 4 deck until they took a couple cards off the game changer list, and now it's bracket 3. So it was once bracket 4, is now bracket 3.
Wow.
But it has bracket 4 power. But it's bracket 3. So the line is definitely a little mush there. So on optimized 4, you look at the bottom, it says at least 4 turns before anyone wins or loses. 4 turns. I feel like this new system is trying to push people into more of a competitive format for a commander than it is for casual. I mean, what do you guys think?
I agree with you on that. And also, they're trying to, and it's not proven, it's not in stone yet,
Mm-hmm.
but they're trying to put hybrid mana in your decks now.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put a green white card in a green black deck. And
Right.
I mean, green white card and a green black deck. I don't think that's right.
No, you're right. A green white card can fit in a green black deck if it's hybrid, because in that deck it will be green and not white.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I still don't agree with the hybrid. So
Uh,
with that they're trying. It seems like they're trying to put the hybrid mana into these decks. That's going to try to push the power level of the decks even more, making it more. I mean, we already got synergetic decks,
right.
and with the hybrid mana, it's just going to make these decks even more synergetic. Where well, it'll speed the games up, but it's going to me. It makes it not as fun as just playing a casual game of Commander. It seems
Well,
like now casual is more or less bracket 2 than 3 and 4. If you have to win by if you win by turn 6.
well, look, hybrid mana right now, as all the cards out there that are hybrid, are not going to overturn the game to be faster. All they're trying to do is get more cards in the format, and a format full of tons of cards. I mean, Commander goes from alpha on, right? As long as it's not on the reserve list and banned, you know. Like, well, some reserve list cards are allowed in the Commander, but as long as it's not on the ban list or the Power of 9, you know, you can play it in Commander. So we already have lots of cards. With the hybrid mana, I've showcased a lot of cards a couple weeks ago that there's a lot of hybrid cards that are just not good. And there's a cycle of hybrid cards that are not good in decks outside of its color because it cares about the colors that it is. So,
yeah, but we don't know what. I mean, yeah, but they're going to introduce this hybrid mana into Commander. We don't know what they are going to do in the future, because usually when they do something like this, it's a change for what they got planned in the future.
yeah, but honestly, I don't think they should mess with it. It's not broken now, so it needs no fixing.
I agree.
All right. Lone Wolf.
Yeah, what's up?
How do you feel the bracket system, the changes in the bracket system have been affecting Commander play from your experience in the game?
That's tough. I think I'm all along the same boats. I think they're pushing basically, like you said, four is being more competitive, and three's headed that way. With I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, like I have a deck, for example, that's a bracket 3, and the power level, I think it'd be higher than a power bracket 3. So
Mhm.
I think they're pushing 3 and 4 almost to be more competitive than the rest of them. And I really don't understand that, to be
Right,
honest.
right. I agree.
Mhm.
Like there's not there's they took something that simplified the idea of deck building, and they blurred the lines between things, because like you said, you have a bracket 3 that pushes a bracket 4. One thing it seems that they took out of the bracket system is the intent of the deck, right? Because intent is kind of what makes the deck what it is. Like when they originally had the original bracket system up, they're like, it's really intent. You can have a bracket 3 deck that plays like a bracket 4, so you can say it's a bracket 4 deck. Here, they put more definition to it. They're like, well, rely on this more than your intent. Big way. What's up? Says brackets are an afterthought. They can be, for sure.
Yeah, but they still, there's consider synergy in this. I'll say that, but turn 6 win on a bracket 3.
Mhm.
That makes me sometimes I can't even get nothing out by turn 6.
Mhm. So,
Yeah, especially if the decks is low 3,
mhm.
and that's just makes it not fun to me actually.
well, let's ask TCG dude a question here.
Sure. So do you guys want me to speak on hybrid mana or the commander brackets?
Well, so I actually have a different question for you.
Okay.
Right? Throw you on the spot. You, like, as a resident person on this podcast who comes in and when he can, you play competitive formats, right? You play
For sure.
modern, you draft, you play sealed. Who knows what other things you do? You do a lot, like in the world. Now, if Commander becomes more competitive based on the bracket system, the way we're talking about it, does that turn you on to wanting to play Commander more, or does it make you weary of the aspect that Wizards of the Coast is pushing Commander as a competitive format?
All right. I guess I'm gonna answer by giving a comparison first.
Right,
So I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, like a lot of Halo, a lot of first-person shooter action, right?
right.
Um, when Warzone dropped, if y'all aren't familiar, it's a battle royale. Essentially, you, yourself, and I drop in and try and win against 100 other people. Now they do have team battle royale set up, but the function, like the framework of the play style, was fundamentally different from your
Mhm.
traditional 5v5 team, deathmatch, compared to battle royale. And so even though you're still using the same functioning mechanics of like jump, reload, slide, you have to implement everything different.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I personally wouldn't be swayed to play Commander on a competitive level, um, largely due to the differences between Commander and 1v1 formats. To be honest with you, and an example that happened semi recently, I don't know, I think it was this year, but there was a top end CEDH tournament that apparently the last round, last table went on for something of like 4 to 6 hours, and they were resolving a stack.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it took several hours for a stack to resolve, and it ended up being a whole poo-poo situation. So I personally wouldn't sign up for that. I can appreciate Commander in general,
Mhm.
but I'm not on the side of Commander being a competitive thing.
Right, right, and I can agree with that, and I can see your perspective there, because Commander is the quote unquote casual format, but the way they're expressing the formats in these brackets, because I have bracket 3 decks that are listed as bracket 3 that don't fit the competitive nature described in these brackets.
Right.
You know, so it kind of Wizards kind of making people like me feel like I'm either doing it wrong or I need to be more aggressive. You know,
That's a good point. I think that a lot of folks forget that it's a game and there's got to be a winner and a loser, you know, and some folks don't have a problem just say being the bad guy at the table and you know, full on swinging commander damage everywhere they can, you know. I recently played Commander actually over on another YouTuber's channel, and it was supposed to be a bracket 2 night with essentially precons. It was supposed to be precons only, and I think only one deck wasn't a precon, but it was this precon with like 2 cards changed, so we let it slide, right?
right.
However, one of the new players brought I forget what it's called, but it's essentially the blue green Merfolk LCI commander deck. And if you were to look on a list of top 10 power level precons, it was number 6.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like it had Coma in the 99, and that's pretty much what I lost to.
That's funny, yeah, because Hillbilly had that deck, and he's like, "It's too complicated," so he tore it apart for parts. So I'm like,
I sure did.
I mean, you know, piloting Magic decks isn't always easy, so I don't blame you for that one, Hillbilly. But yeah, so going back to the Commander game, I was rolling with the Jeskai Angels from March of the Machine. I forget the front face commander, but I actually slotted out for the lieutenant. Like, if y'all aren't familiar, or for any listeners not familiar, pre-constructed commander deck will have a face commander, the 100th card, and there will be typically 2 or 3 legendary creatures of the same color identity,
right.
tucked in the 99. And so if you want a little bit of a different play style, you can just, you know, use one of those lieutenants as the commander. And that's what I did. And I really liked the deck and how it played out, but combat damage was how I was going to win, you know? And so I was do every single turn. I was laying on attacks. And then, you know, a couple of the people were like, I'm not the problem here. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to just end the game. It ended up going on for 2 hours. It was a 2-hour game for precons, guys. And, you know, I've been known to play longer Magic, but that's not something that's like my ideal experience. And a quick reference to Maldhound, another YouTuber in the Magic space. He was speaking on a podcast with some other Magic players, and they asked him, what is the average turn like or game length? What would you expect for a game length? And he jokingly said 28 minutes. Very specifically, 28 minutes. You know, joking aside, I think that well, I guess to like real life, what happens at the LGS, say over here in my neck of the woods, every Friday they do a commander night, and it's 3 rounds with a 50 or 55 minute timer. So like the game's got to end in basically an hour. And I don't see hour-long games very often in the YouTube space. I think it happens more IRL. So I think that's a good like speed and length of game especially because you can fit in 2 or 3 games at a night, right? Some folks don't want to be drawn out into a 2 or 3 hour game. They'd rather pitch a couple fast ones and then be good for the night.
Right. So one thing I want to bring up that you brought up that sparked the thought process is, thinking that this bracket system design is not designed for just home games, but also designed for Commander play in the store. And like when we play Commander in the store, like sanctioned, more like like with prize support and stuff, they're 1v1. So that could have been a partial part of this bracket design too, is because like the stores have to do 1v1 formats if they want to sanction the tournaments with prizes, not 4v4s.
Okay.
Some stores are like that. I mean, the LGS over in my way does store credit for sure. Like I can't speak on any promo packs. I know they do promo packs for like sealed and standard and stuff. Not so much for Commander, but you can still get store credit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that brings an issue up with me. I mean, if they're going to have a bracket system or 1v1, then they need to make 2 different brackets. I know it's more work, but I think they need to make 2 different brackets, one for 1v1 and one for 4 pod. I mean, that's just my opinion about it.
Dual Commander is a thing. I haven't researched too much into it, but yeah, it's technically a format, Dual Commander.
Right, because you got Dual Commander, you got regular Commander, you got Two-Headed Giant. So there's different formats. This is like the Commander bracket system is a conversational tool piece to help talk, because it wants you to talk about your games before your games. Like, what does your deck do? What kind of we expect? And you want to have that conversation without giving every little dirty secret about your deck out. But it's here to give you a conversation piece. But again, it feels like they are pushing for more competitive matchups. Yep.
Okay. I guess another way to like word that would be this bracket system allows for players to not be pub stomped or super disappointed, like to walk into a game thinking, oh man, my level 3 deck is totally going to be fine when everybody else is playing a 5.
Isn't that conflating Rule 0 with brackets? Well, it's the Rule 0 is the basis of brackets. Brackets is like to kind of do some of the real Rule 0 discussion for you. Then it's your job as a player to kind of have the Rule 0 discussion with your players, saying mine's a upgraded 3, but plays like a 4, or mine's a 3, or it's less of a 3, like it's more to core. But it's still weird because the bracket system does not discuss the power level very well. I mean, until you read all the way down where it says to play at least 6 turns before anyone wins or loses.
Right.
That is the key thing there. Yeah.
If you upgrade a deck too much to win by that turn 6, it's going to jump over into bracket 4.
Mm-hmm. Which brings me to this section right here, where I designed my own bracket system, which I should probably submit to Wizards to see what they say about it. So I took their bracket system and added a little flair to my thought process on it. Like, I took what they had, because like you could tell, this gameplay features many provocative and reactive gameplays. At least 6 turns are played before anyone wins or loses, right? But it breaks down the deck to make it seem like, well, it's the good deck is the bracket 3, but bracket 4 is more for winning. I think that's what's kind of lacking here, is the more the description of the brackets are missing, the description of the bracket. I think they should take this into consideration of using this as the bracket system, because I believe that this overlays more information because it is pretty good. And what this does is what this system does, it takes the old bracket system and the new bracket system and kind of meshes them together, because the old bracket system makes sense in one way and the new bracket system makes sense in a different way. And this kind of like describes the deck entirely that you're trying to build.
Right.
You know, then maybe that's just my biasness, but I like that. I like it, especially with the descriptions of the brackets, because like bracket 3 is the good deck, but bracket 4 is more for winning. Bracket 5 is just for winning. You know, it describes your intent of the deck, and that's what people want more in the bracket systems: the intent of the deck and what the deck's supposed to do. But, you know, every deck works different. Voltron decks can be bracket 2 or core 2 and run almost at a competitive optimized 4 level.
Yep.
You know, so there's so much they can do to help the community, but there's not enough they can do to be so descriptive. But that's why I designed this bracket system itself, is to be more descriptive. And in fact, I'm thinking about posting this up in my Discord as the bracket system for the channel. Bracket 3 game changers is still wild. Yeah, that's right. 3 game changers. I get that. Yeah.
But it's bracket 3. You gotta have 3 game changers,
right? It's going with the even numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's still good. But yeah, and I find it interesting that, like, for someone who's in the competitive game state and as competitive as Commander's starting to feel, that it still doesn't allure you, TCGdude. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's just, it's kind of funny because Wizards working so hard to push Commander and being a functional format and a more competitive, and it just doesn't entice you, you know. And that's not a bad thing on you, and it's not a bad thing on Wizards. It's just, it just shows you that Wizards still kind of doesn't know what they're doing because they're not doing it right. But they're trying to do things more correct.
Possibly. I don't know, man. I think for me personally, it's more along the lines of, if I feel okay in a 1v1 format, I know my deck, I know it's legal, and it's my job to learn how to pilot it and to navigate the opponent's deck. As soon as opponent 3 and opponent 4 enter the mix, that whole thing goes to the wayside, because you could show up with a stack of jank and politic your way into a win. And I just don't like that in a game. That's not, if I want to politic some wins, I will go be a governor or something. You know,
the governor of Magic Land.
Yes.
I get you. But it's very interesting because, you know, obviously Commander is like the premier format for Magic at the moment. It's like the one that people think about as the main way to play Magic nowadays. I remember when Standard was the main way to think about Magic. I remember when Modern was like the optimized way to play Magic, like the premier way to play the best version of Magic. And now it's all about Commander in Wizards land. Even though let's not give Wizards credit, because they are trying to bring life back into Standard, Modern, and so on. Yep. They're trying to revitalize those formats because they're still healthy for the game. They're still a good community for the game. You know, TCGdudes part of that community who loves those formats, and Wizards are trying to protect and preserve those formats for people and still creating events and tournaments for those people, you know. But with the bracket system the way it is, how far is it going to be until we have a tournament for Commander? You know, like, what's going to sell out more? You know, the Commander format, these other formats. What's the future going to look like for us? Let us know in the comments or in chat. Let us know what you think the future Commander is going to look like with the way it's going.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean,
wasn't it the debut of the product of Commander somewhere around like 2013 or something?
Yeah, because they did the very first things. They created a thing called the Commander's Arsenal, I believe it was called. It was the very first product made for Commander players, and it was before Commander was an astounding format. Like Commander was growing, but it wasn't super huge. They created this thing called the Commander's Arsenal. It was like the first reprint product for solid reprints, and like it was the first reprint of Sylvan Library at the time. And like foils, and it was pretty epic. The box was like about 3 feet tall, about 2.5 feet wide.
Wow.
If I remember correctly, if my memory could serve me wrong. It was all chock full of Commander staples, and people were competing for that like crazy.
Okay, so that would mean that Commander as a product, as a recognized thing, shelf item, is about 12 years in.
Yeah, it's got to be more than 12 years old. This
Well,
was
2013,
yeah.
2025. It's rough. I'm just saying, like, the first time that we saw Commander product. Now, the format apparently has roots, believe it or not, in Alaska. And it was Elder Dragon Highlander, and they had a little bit different of a rule set there. But essentially it elevated into a judge format that judges would play at events amongst each other while they were waiting for rounds to finish out. And then eventually it gained popularity, enough traction to where Wizards was like, maybe we should make this a thing, right? And apparently a lot of people like it.
Oh yeah, no, there's that. It became a solid format because it used to be called EDH back then, and still technically EDH today. But Wizards took EDH, and they couldn't use EDH as a powerful enough marketing name, so they took Commander because it was more utilized in game spaces, and so that's how they took it. And that's
one word is a lot easier to say than three.
right. But so it worked out. So Wizards has been supportive of this format forever, but it's been growing forever. Like it's been taking forever to grow. Then 2020 hit. Then it just boom went crazy. Spell table.
Yeah. So I really do believe that Commander is essentially Magic the board game.
Yep.
And a lot of folks like board games. They like family time. They like being able to say, hey, cuz, come over with your wife and we'll all set up the table and everybody will enjoy some Magic together. And Commander is like a could be cheap way to do that, right? Because these pre-cons have been sold for as low as $20. But typically they're in the $40-$50 range. Upwards of 100 or so for like a premier, like a Modern Horizons type esque, Commander deck. And so the allure of a board game experience a la Magic is pretty cool. And I think that a lot of folks enjoy that. Me personally, that's just not how I engage with Magic. I honestly just have a bit more of a competitive edge. And, I'd like that to be a bit more personal one-on-one experience.
Dusty, thank you for the correction. Yes, Arsenal came out in 2012, and it came out after the first Commander pre-cons. All right, so yeah, because I remember during that time it was the first major product that came out that people loved was the Arsenal. People loved the Commander decks, but the Commander decks back then needed more help. But they made some powerful commanders. I mean, that's why we got Maelstrom Wanderer and stuff like that is during that era. But yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, like Commander is growing and it's going good. Let's hope the thing is going good. But like
it's not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere for sure. But I do think to kind of resolve the thought process is that Wizards is trying to push the game to be more competitive, kind of match the tempo of Standard, because they want I think secretly, and I could be wrong. I think secretly, Wizards of the Coast wants to be able to make content based off Commander, like not just commercials and ways to sell you on Commander. I think they want to make Commander gameplay. They want to be able to feature Commander in tournaments, you know, and I think they want the games to go faster so that they can film it and not have like, you know, take what they do now with standard and modern in tournaments and you know those go on for hours going through different games. I think they want to kind of get Commander to go faster so they can film a whole bracket system of people playing, which would be cool. Like, and by bracket system in this term, I don't mean the brackets. I'm talking about bracket winning, like how they bracket people against each other in tournaments. Too many brackets in the game of Magic nowadays.
So I'm not sure if you're aware, but sometimes at the Magic cons, especially in Vegas, they'll have the Game Nights tournament. So Game Nights is another YouTube Magic channel hosted by a couple of great fellas. They got a great team over there. Love the game. But it's really cool to see them have a main stage table set up, and they'll have some people like Gavin Verhey or even Mark Rosewater sitting at the table playing, and they'll be all dressed up in their, you know, outfits, and it's a whole show, right? At that point, it's a whole, you know, play like experience, and everybody in the crowd sees each card being played and announced, and they're like, oh, in the background, you know. It's an entertaining experience, I think that's kind of peak Commander entertainment in my opinion, but the chopped and edited VOD style is really cool too. And then of course additionally folks like yourself will host live streamed Commander games, and that's got a raw and real Magic content when you break it down, which is super respectable.
I appreciate the compliment there, but yeah, I see what you're saying, but I'm thinking like what I'm explaining though with the Wizards wants the content is like, you know, they want to be able to film Commander games like to do the tournament games and still have it be in a time frame, because you know Commander can last 4 hours in one game. They want to make it like 20 minutes to 30 minutes in one game so they can continually move through people, you know. Yeah, but yes, I love raw Commander games. I love playing Commander still. It's like it's the best way for me to play. I hope the only other format I love even more than Commander that I don't get to do very much is draft or play sealed. Because those are, like, to me, live drafting, it's fun because the competitive nature's there, but you're working off the tools the Magic gods are giving you.
Yeah. Well, thankfully with drafting, you get to curate your deck a little bit better. Man, I've had a high and low this year with sealed, and I'm one of those advocates for it. It's one of my favorite formats. I went undefeated in Spider-Man this year. That was my first pre-release that I topped that. Yeah. Followed up with the Avatar pre-release where I got stomped, dude. Friday was fun. It was a fair-ish firebending deck, but it just didn't have a lot of huge threats or a lot of synergy for the firebending. And then Saturday, man, my kit, I swapped actually because I had opened a red one and I was like, you know, I want to play a different style. I want, you know, some water bending or some air bending action. I did fire bending yesterday type thing. And so I swapped with a very good player in the local scene and got his white airbending kit. Well, turns out there were only 2 creatures in that whole kit above 4 mana CMC, and they weren't even in my colors. So I was just sitting there with a bunch of grizzly bears in a dream, bro. It was horrible. So sealed is, I wouldn't call it the most fair format, but as far as the experience goes of being at the LGS, hearing the buzz in the room, the chatter, the laughter, just open something big, you know, like the vibe is super there, and it's worth experiencing as a Magic player.
Oh, don't be wrong, I love sealed, but like I know Sealed's one of the most unfair formats to play when you're playing a game, when you're opening up your product to build your deck and you like get jank like you can, and you hear someone pull out like 2 of the most powerful mythics in the set in their packs. You're like, this is going to be a non-win game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember at Concert Tarkir when I was drafting, some guy pulled 2 Ugins out of his packs.
Ooh.
And I'm like, that's nuts. That's just like, I know it's slow removal, but they're planeswalkers and removal. I'm like, 2 solid removal spells that do things.
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Believe it or not, I actually had a similar experience for Core Set 2021 when they reprinted Ugin. I did get 2 Oogs in my kit, and I didn't even top. I actually got milled out by a Simic player 1 round before I could get Ugin on the board. And then when I did cast Ugin, counterspell.
Oh,
Yeah,
So it happens.
that's funny. It happens.
yep.
But hey, my friends, what a good episode today. Thanks for coming on, TC Dude. Thanks for being here, everybody. And thanks for chatting with us, everybody in chat. But man, it is time to relax, chill. And it's already time, like how I was planning to do movies and shakers today, but maybe we'll do it tomorrow.
Put them off yesterday. Now you put them off today. Got to do them tomorrow.
Gotta do them tomorrow. Well, the thing is, I'm trying to work with my topics better. You know, like making more good topics to talk about. Trying to bend them to talk about them in different ways, because everybody comes up with the same topics. Because there's over 1,000 people making Magic content, so pretty much every idea is being expensed. So trying to make it your own is its own thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But hey. Some song went through my head and I can't remember the lyrics. But anyways, still, my friends, it is that time of the day. We got to roll on to this jazz.
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take. Show is lit. MTG3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise. Building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon. No one can bring us down. MTG3 in the house. We own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
All right, everybody, it's time to get to the shill section, the thrill section. Everybody, we're going to get to the shill section so you can find out where you can view and watch these beautiful people on the show. We got Hillbilly, we got TCGdudes, but we're going to start with Lone Wolf to start the shill section. Whoa.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for having me on the show. Now let's get help support TCGdude, his channel, and I believe he even has a store. Let's get Hillbilly and Tortoise up to 1,500 subscribers. They're getting closer.
All right, but then, my friends, you want to talk about your link?
Yeah. So this GoFundMe link is for me and my brother. We're trying to move to another apartment. They keep raising our rent, which I'm not looking forward to. So all the money that's donated to this will go towards moving expenses, down deposit, all that fun stuff. So if you can help share the link, or if you can help, it would be appreciated from the both of us.
All right, sounds good. Let's help him out. Whoa. Now, next, we got TCGdude, and he wants to share this little graphic.
Yes, having something to look at usually helps. Yes, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this VOD. I am Alex, the TCGdude, out here keeping magic alive. Yeah, man, I'm very passionate about the game. Hopefully you were able to pick that up listening to the show today. If you want to contact me, just hit me up, have general magic questions, maybe how to up your skill level in 1v1 formats. You can always at me on X or Discord at TCGdude. Occasionally, I'll be playing video games on the PS5 over on the Twitch side of the internet at TCGdude907. And if you don't like socials and you just want to contact me kind of OG internet style, you can always email me, contact.tcgdude@gmail.com. Last but not least, there should be a link in this episode's description for a TCG player shop. I've got Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, a little handful of Pokemon, but mainly Magic there. And I'm going to be putting some Avatar cards in the store sooner than later. Last but not least, I am trying to host or collaborate with Super Fast here for a rip and ship of Avatar play boosters. I've got a sealed box here that I picked up locally from an LGS, so sourced safely, and hopefully we can get some action on that. So make sure to check out Super Fast Discord for that. Otherwise, thanks for having me on today, bro. I know Commander's not typically my format, but as a Magic player, you know, it's fun to throw my 2 cents in.
That is, and we got your 2 cents for sure. That was like a nickel. No kidding. Hillbilly.
Hey, everybody, it's around 2 o'clock this afternoon. I'm going to do an arena stream. And we're going to play a new deck. I keep coming up with new decks, new deck ideas. So it's Avatar is out. Is for going to run a mono white tokens deck this afternoon around 2 o'clock and see if that deck has will work or not. And you can join me over here on YouTube this afternoon at 2 o'clock. That's all I got planned for today.
That sounds good. Are you going to try to get a Commander game on tonight?
Yeah, another thing too, tonight around 7 o'clock, I'm going to do a Commander game, Bracket 3. If anybody wants to play Commander tonight, Bracket 3, make sure you get a hold of me or Tortoise in the Discord. You can, if you're part of my Discord, you can holler at me there. If you're Tortoise's Discord, you can holler at him there. Just let one of us know if you want to play Commander, and I'll have that set up around 7 o'clock tonight. I'll start sending the links out around between 6 and 6:30. That way people can get into the game and get set up and everything. Then we'll start at 7 o'clock tonight.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Everybody, it's Tuesday night. Usually I don't stream. I want to try to be on Hillbilly's Commander stream tonight. Do the normal thing. We'll see what goes on. I'll reach out to Hillbilly, but if you want to play with us tonight or play with Hillbilly, if I can't, let us know. I'll definitely get Hillbilly and you in contact through Discord. You guys rock, you guys roll. I want to thank everybody for being here, right? Everybody for on the show, everybody's watching, all 20 of you who tuned in today. I appreciate you 100%. Ooh. And with that, I want to thank you, my channel members, for supporting the channel the way you do. I want to thank you, channel subscribers, for growing the channel the way you do. You guys are amazing. Liking the video, sharing, all the stuff you do is amazing and helps out the channel a lot. But with that, I want to remind you that you're loved. Someone's thinking about you. And if you can, say and or do something positive for someone else today, because you might be the change they need. And with that, we're going to hit the exit scene. I want to thank you, channel members of the channel, for supporting this creep the way you do. You are awesome. And you subscribers, everybody that subscribes, you're doing amazing too. Thank you very much for all that you do.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and friends have been the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning